Stocks are set to open lower as we got some breaking news on the economy this morning. The U.S. added 266,000 jobs in the month of April, and that was way below what analysts were expecting. The unemployment rate also rose to 6.1%. ABC News business correspondent Deirdre Bolton is here with more on all this. Deirdre, analysts were predicting a gain of about 1 million jobs, so this is obviously very disappointing. What happened?
Yeah, I have to say, first and foremost, Diane, I don't think that, at least since I've been covering the markets, that I have ever seen economists be so wrong in their predictions. I mean, this is really a huge miss. I was even emailing with some this morning who were like, okay, I haven't been this off on my call since like 1998. So a huge surprise to the downside. And I think something else that's a little bit troubling is not only were April's numbers disappointing, but even the March numbers came in a lot lower than expected. So in speaking with different people, they're just saying, listen, this is a marathon, not a sprint. As we get back to reestablishing our economic growth, there are still 8 million jobs missing from the economy. And one trader that I spoke with said, listen, we shut down our economy like a light switch, like we just turned it off. Never before have we done something like that. When you dig a little bit deeper, there are these underlying issues. We've been talking about these supply chain issues, for example, shortage of semiconductors, and that sounds anecdotal, but it is affecting all kinds of industries. It's affecting all kinds of production. So you're hearing it from automakers, you're hearing it from electronics makers, and then more and more anecdotal evidence is coming in, Diane, that it's really hard for some businesses to attract workers, and that just our rebound is going to be clunky. So why so many economists were so wrong in their estimates, that even by their own admission is not entirely clear. But I think the consensus is that, listen, we are in unprecedented conditions, and the move back to quote unquote normal is going to be clunky, and a lot clunkier than anybody had anticipated, Diane.
And so, Deirdre, when you put this all together, what does it tell you about where the economy stands right now? And also, I'm trying to be optimistic here. If a lot of these things are supply shortages, for example, as things do return to normal, presumably that will get better and demand will spike and things then start to improve much more quickly, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like being in a car and learning to drive with somebody who's learning to drive on manual gears, right? It's not a smooth ride, and getting back to our economic normal is definitely not going to be smooth. But you asked what this implies for our economy, and I think this set of data really calls into question two big things. So the one is that really when you were speaking with people, especially given yesterday's job indicator numbers, you kind of had all this optimism like, oh, it's just going to be a V-shaped recovery. We're going to hit the ground running. We're back. Everything's open up. So I think what today's data set shows is, okay, hang on. We're not going to just snap back like a rubber band. It's going to take time. So therefore, our economic recovery may be longer. That's takeaway number one. And then the other thing that I think we're just going to have to monitor is this idea of workers. How many people are willing to work? There's still a lot of people who have to do in-person jobs. And even though, hopefully, fingers crossed, the worst of the pandemic is behind us, there are still some people who are nervous, are not 100% ready to be back in offices or back in workplaces. There are still childcare issues where people have not been able to resolve how they look after children and also work. So I think the second takeaway point is all of the problems, even though the pandemic, we seem to be managing it better, every single one of those problems is just not going to go away overnight, and it's just going to take time, Diane.
All right, we have to be patient. Deirdre Bolton, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.